Newly crowned Grand National Cross Country Series champion Walker Fowler made a statement with his win at the opening round. If you want a shot at the title, you have to go through him. Can the rest of the class slow down the Yamaha mounted Ohioan? Find out next.
It's time to go racing in the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series here on NBCSN. This is round 2, the Maxxis Tires Cannonball GNCC, an all-new event in Sparta, Georgia. As always, I'm Jason Wygant, the host of Riders, very excited to race on the red Georgia clay today. But some of them probably a little weary as well, because just a week ago we were in the deep sand of Florida. We'll give you the AMSOIL race recap of our series opener. These are very grueling conditions. Walker Fowler, your series champ, into the lead over Adam McGill. These two battled for the title throughout 2015, and they could very well do it again in 2016. Fowler just able to edge out his rival on that #1 NFAB Ampro Yamaha. And from there, Fowler would pull away to a fairly dominant win. And great momentum heading into today's round 2 of the championship. But a big surprise behind him, an all-new race team powering young Bryson Neal to 2nd overall. He has some guidance from 8-time GNCC champion Barry Hawk, and it paid off best performance we've ever seen from Neal in the XC1 Pro class. Look at your Rocky Mountain ATV MC results. Chris Boric, your 6-time champ, a solid run in 3rd. But what's the victory mean for Walker?
Yeah, I think that win definitely feeds my confidence. It just proves to myself and everyone else that, we didn't come to mess around, we came to play, and we picked up right where we wanted to leave off at the end of last year. So start the year with a win and start the year with some confidence and success, and coming to round 2 ready to go.
Well, that's bad news for everyone else. Fowler getting his first career pro title last year, starting the season off with a victory. They've got to get that train off the tracks or he could go on a win streak. Let's see how it goes today. 2 hours in the woods of Georgia. Short shoot into the first turn. And just like last week, it's Fowler and Adam McGill battling for it, and McGill is going to grab the $250 Weisco Whole Shot Award. But here comes the cavalry, the NFAB Ampro Yamaha teammates, Fowler and Cole Richardson getting up in the hunt. Richardson now to 2nd behind McGill, a rookie, only his 2nd race of his, and stuck in the first turn. That's Bryson Neal, 2nd place last week, tangled up with the 14 of Josh Merritt. They have to practically flip Merritt's machine, the blue one, upside down to get them untangled. So both these riders are going to have to come from way back in the pack. See if we can catch what happened here. They're tangled up as soon as they get into the turn, and a hard hit, by the way, from Merritt. A couple of young riders there going for it in turn 1. The inside, you would think, is a smart move, but it did not pay off. Meanwhile, McGill has become a lightning fast starter the last 2 or 3 seasons. He used to really struggle with the starts and have to make the come-from-behind charges. Now he's the first one to figure out the new race trail here at this brand new event in Sparta, Georgia. As mentioned, he has Richardson and Fowler right with him. And how about Chris Boric in 4th, back on his old familiar Suzuki this year. That's the machine he won 6 straight championships on. Switched to Yamaha last year, couldn't get the machine where he wanted it, and back on familiar equipment this season. The rest of the field starting to battle it out. You see the number 3, Jared McClure, just came through. Not the start he wants. And here's Bryson Neal, the upstart. That great run as a runner-up a week ago. A lot of work to do after that first turn crash, especially when you consider most of the favorites are up front. You've got McGill, Cole Richardson, as we mentioned, he's a rookie, but a dominant champ in the XC2 division, which is the stepping stone to this a year ago. Throw in Boric, throw in Fowler, throw in the rider ranked 3rd in the series last year, McClure, and everyone behind this top 5 has got a lot of work to do. Here's Neal trying to make the move and actually bumping into the back of Tucker Wyatt. And these two know, can't let those leaders get away. Look at Richardson just hanging out there on the rear grab bar of McGill. And the real key to AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Racing is that the riders cannot practice or pre-ride the tracks. And I know I stress that on the TV show every week, but I cannot stress it enough how critical it is for these riders to learn the track on the first lap. See the orange and white arrows on the trees? That's all they have to guide them around. Now you throw in a little dust today. In other races we have mud. It's hard to see exactly where you're going. And the rider who can read trail best is well served in the first lap, and that is where Adam McGill is so good. And Richardson hanging back there in second, doing a great job keeping him in sight. Then it's Fowler, Boric, McClure. That's Jay Shadrin, Landon Wolf on the Canyon Motorsports show hauler machine coming through. Then it's Johnny Gallagher, and there's the Coastal Racing machine of Neil trying to tighten this group up. So it's the CST Tire Blocks, Lone Star, DeRisi Racing backed. McGill in the #1 spot. It's actually a Honda underneath all the sponsor logos. A flip-flop between the NFAB and Pro Yamaha teammates. Fowler now up to second, pushing Richardson back to third. And you get the feeling it's kind of the calm before the storm. Look at that move from Boric! Boric found a new line, and look, everyone follows him. He gets around Richardson and is now up to third, and the old champ starting to stir. A bad start last week in Florida. We didn't really get to see what he had. This time he's starting up front. This could be very interesting to have Boric back in the mix. Stay with us.
When it comes to guarding your engine, AMSOIL offers the next level performance enthusiasts demand. AMSOIL provides 75% more engine protection against horsepower loss and wear than required by a leading industry standard, extending the life of pistons and cams. Give the vehicle you love the above and beyond protection it deserves. AMSOIL, devoted to protection.
Here at Rocky Mountain ATV MC, our goal has always been to get you the best price and provide quality service. Now, we're giving you one more reason to shop with Rocky Mountain. We call it Quick Cash. It's simple to get. Just place an order with a qualifying Quick Cash item and get cash to spend on your next order. Try it out today. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
Maxxis Tires. The Andersons discovered life is easier with an Outlaw RV. The Outlaw is a complete home on wheels with a multifunctional garage. Getting on the road has never been quicker. The Outlaw is made to fit the lifestyle of today's active families. So stop roughing it and start enjoying your weekends. Find the Thor Motor Coach Outlaw that fits your needs at GarageRVs.com today.
The GNCC series on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by AMSOIL. Protect your weekend. Rocky Mountain ATV MC, get ready. And by Maxxis Tires. Keeps you riding to your maximum potential.
Hey, those dogs you see there, those are actually the dogs of our ATV race leader, Adam McGill, so they're happy right now. Meanwhile, let's give you the highlights of our bike competition also from this weekend in Georgia. Caleb Russell, your defending champ, much better start this time. He was down on the ground in turn 1 a week ago in Florida. He was leading early on here in Georgia, but hot pursuit. Last week's winner, Josh Strang. And these two went at it back and forth. It's the battle everyone wanted to see. Strang, your 2010 GNCC champ. Russell has won the last 3 titles. Strang gets hung up. Russell takes the lead, but then watch this. Russell's wife is waiting to give him a bottle of water, and he bumps into her and knocks her down, and she nearly gets hit by Strang, who's clearly shocked by the whole scenario. But he does take the lead and the victory. That's 2 in a row for Strang to start the 2016 season. Luckily, Russell's wife Chandler was okay with that incident. I think, again, it was more shocking than actually painful. We go back to our ATV race now. Well, the 2 favorites, their last couple of titles have gone to these guys. They're up front. Adam McGill has been overhauled by A. Walker Fowler and B. Chris Boric. So these 2 are 1-2. Fowler into the lead. Boric second, and it's the fight we wanted to see. Last year, Boric trying to win his 7th straight title. He struggled big time, switching from Suzuki to Yamaha. To see McGill come through in third and overcook the corner. Came in too hot. Losing a little bit of ground. A little further back, you've got Landon Wolf, Jay Shadrin, and Bryson Neal all fighting for it to get into the top 5. The distinctive headlights of Shadron on the Precision Axis Maxis machine, the Coastal Racing machine of Neil. We mentioned the show haulers, Canyon Motorsports back, Landon Wolf. These are 3 young riders who have been coming through the GNCC youth and amateur ranks and are starting to make noise in the pros right now, fighting to get inside the top 5. Little mistake there from Neil. He has had to expend a lot of energy trying to come back from a big first turn crash. Fowler in the lead, but what does Chris Borich have for him? This is the battle we wanted to see, the old champ against the new one, and Borich back on familiar equipment. He told me after the race last week, he got the bad start, the track was too one-line, he never got a chance to challenge Walker. He hopes to do it today. Little flashback to our XC2 class, a few positions behind. Marty Christopherson here, leading Randy Hamilton, and XC2 is the stepping stone. As we mentioned earlier, riders like Neil and Richardson have worked their way through that division. They could be the next stars of GNCC racing, so good job, Marty Christopherson leading them around. Back up front, XC1, McGill is 3rd behind Fowler and Borich. Richardson hanging tough in 4th. Could be a good fight for the podium there, and then we know behind him it has been raging with this 3. Well, now it's a 4-pack. Look at this. That's Neil trying to go around the outside, and he makes the move on Landon Wolf. So it's now Neil, Wolf, Shadron, and Jared McClure there as well. So 4 riders fighting for it. McClure trying to get an inside line on Shadron. And these Georgia tracks are good. Even our old track at Ionia Pass in Washington, Georgia, and now today in Sparta, lots of lines in the woods to make passes. And if that doesn't work, we'll give you a big field section to try to set someone up. And that appears to be what Borich is doing. Just 2 years ago, he was the dominant figure in GNCC racing. Fowler got a hook in him, won some races late in 2014, then got the title last year. But Borich rejuvenated on his old Suzukis. He doesn't want these kids to run away with it. He's still having a good time at the races.
I just love my job, love the people, the fans, the kids. Just putting a smile on everybody else's face when I do good. So. I don't know, just really enjoy the atmosphere.
Geez, 15 years ago or so, Borich was considered the young gun working his way forward. Spent nearly half of those years as a champion. Speaking of young gun working his way forward, Bryson Neal from last in the first turn, solid in 5th, and starting to pull away a bit from that big battle behind him with Shadron McClure and Landon Wolf. And those 3, that's an 18-foot long quad there, just 3 6-footers just jammed up together. They have been close all day. A big wide line from Shadron though, and that's going to allow, no, I thought it was, side by side with McClure through the field. Yes, McClure and the JMR ATV Riders Honda able to get around Shadron. And just ahead of them is Neil. Nice mix of veterans and young riders there, as we do have up front. Chris Borich just stalking your leader, Walker Fowler, and this is classic Chris Borich. We used to call it the Borich, which would be waiting until the last lap, finding a line that no one even knew was there, sneaking up and making the pass. And it sure looks like Chris Borich is setting us up for that type of a run today. But hey, Walker Fowler has lost a couple races at the hands of the Master, so he's going to do everything he can to keep Borich behind him. McGill still solid in 3rd. And we'll see what Cole Richardson has down the stretch. Is he going to be able to ramp it up and get McGill? We'll have to settle for 4th today. Early in the season, a lot of the riders thinking consistency, thinking points, trying to figure out their equipment. So you never know what the race strategy is going to be like. And in a 2-hour race, strategy is a huge factor. Hard to run completely wide open for that long. So you kind of pick your spots and pick your passing zones. Jared McClure has broken away from that battle with Wolf and Shadron, so now he is going to try to hook up with Bryson Neal as they head to the front. Here's Neal, here's McClure, veteran out of Maryland. Won a couple of races last year, so he has the experience, but Neal's fired up. Wait a minute! Tucker Wyatt battling for a top 10. Mechanical troubles. It's over for him.
At Rocky Mountain ATVMC, we want to help increase rider participation at your next race, rally, or club event with our free Race Gas program. Join Race Gas, and every rider that signs up for your event or club gets a free $10 gift card to Rocky Mountain ATVMC. It's that simple. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
When it comes to protecting your engine, AMSOIL offers the next level performance truck owners demand. AMSOIL provides 75% more engine protection against horsepower loss and wear than required by a leading industry standard, extending the life of pistons and cams. Give the vehicle you love the above and beyond fortification it deserves. AMSOIL, devoted to protection.
CST Tires.
Welcome back to Racer TV's coverage of the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series. Today we're covering our ATV race from Sparta, Georgia, round 2. And a star may be in the making here with Bryson Neal second at our opener in Florida. Then today, tangled up in the first turn, you're going to see him come to a complete stop here as Josh Merritt goes down. Merritt climbs up to the number 10 spot, at least so far, but Neal just kept on trucking, got into the top 10, then made this move on Tucker Wyatt, banging wheels of them, finally gets an opening, and then he'll move into 5th with this pass on Landon Wolf. He's going to go to the outside in 5th place for now, but can he get further? Can he catch Cole Richardson or Adam McGill, who are fighting for 3rd and 4th? Let's learn more about Bryson Neal.
As a kid, I always looked up, and I always wanted to be where Bill Balance was and Chris Borge, and I was huge fans. You know, I followed the circuit from 2005 all the way to now, and I just loved everything about it, and just looking up and seeing those guys ride past me, cheering them on the track, you know, that was huge to me. And to finally be up here and try to be in almost the same position as them, it means the world to me.
Well, good run for him so far, showing that runner-up finish at round 1 was not a fluke. Time for pit stops. Walker Fowler, your race leader, into the NFAB AmPro Yamaha pit. There's his dad, Danny, on the right, handling the gas. And everyone else giving him some strategy, some advice, fresh set of goggles, and he's gone. And it looks like he's opened it up a bit on Borge. Yeah, that's not a big lead, but it's bigger than it was. Although you never know what the KG veteran Borge is doing. How is he going to play it? Borge backed by Maxxis, HMF, Fly Racing, and Ye-Old Cycle Barn. And in more ways than one, they no longer produce that Suzuki LTR 450 that he's racing, so he has had to go on eBay, Craigslist, junkyards, anywhere he can to find parts. And you need parts when the machine's taking hits like this. Look at these guys getting bounced around. The suspension setup so critical here, but no matter how well you have it set up, you still have to absorb a lot of that with your arms and legs, and especially in the ATVs with your back. And you got to be tough to do it for 2 hours. No change in our battle for 3rd and 4th. It's still McGill and Cole Richardson, but look, Bryson Neal closing and closing and closing. He now has them in sight, and he has shaken the pressure from Jared McClure. So Neal definitely one to watch. Really impressive at these first 2 races. See what McGill has with these 2 kids putting the heat on him. Last couple years on these shows have been talking about a potential changing of the guard, and not just with Fowler finally wrestling the title away from Borge, but a lot of fast kids getting closer and closer to podiums and wins, and that's what Adam McGill is going to have to deal with now. Cole Richardson, a rookie, Bryson Neal, one of the young stars, Jay Shadron is an up-and-comer, Landon Wolf, who we've seen. All these kids, well, they're ambitious, and they know exactly where they want to be someday, where Walker Fowler is. That's leading races and carrying the number 1 plate. But if Fowler's going to win today's race, he's going to have to hold off Chris Borge. We're set up for a classic here in Georgia.
As riders and racers, we understand the need to get quality parts, apparel, and accessories fast. We have the horsepower of multiple warehouses to make sure your gear, OEM parts, or accessories make it to your door quickly. Check out our easy-to-use website and experience customer service that takes the whole shot. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
You smell it, you feel it, you can taste it in the air. Speed, man. Full wide open. Blast.
I didn't really like high school too much. Too booky, too take notes, learn this, and that's it. At Wildtech, they had full-size motorcycles. The feeling of taking them apart every day, putting them back together. You can't explain it. Everything I learned applies to now. Seeing your motorcycle that you put together right around the track at 180 miles an hour, oh, definitely rewarding. My name is Mike. My school's Wildtech.
Get on the fast track to a career. Turn pro at Wildtech.
When it comes to guarding your engine, AMSOIL offers the next level performance enthusiasts demand. AMSOIL provides 75% more engine protection against horsepower loss and wear than required by a leading industry standard, extending the life of pistons and cams. Give the vehicle you love the above and beyond protection it deserves. AMSOIL, devoted to protection.
Maxxis Tires.
The GNCC series on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by AMSOIL. Protect your weekend. Rocky Mountain ATV MC, get ready. And by Maxxis Tires. Keeps you riding to your maximum potential.
Here's a shot of our youth ATV race from earlier today. Congrats to Georgia's own Dylan Walraven taking the overall win. Classes for riders as young as 6 years old. So come on out. Go to GNCCRacing.com for more info. Bryson Neal has been tracking his progress this entire race. He's now in third. He's gotten around Adam McGill and Cole Richardson. So what a run from first turn crash to third place. This might be even more impressive than the runner-up finish a week ago. Meanwhile, Fowler continuing to deal with pressure from Chris Borich, and now you see Borich is finding a new line, and Fowler has gotten stuck. First chance for, oh, look at that. Borich had a chance to take the lead, and he did not take it. Fowler, I think, is still trying to clean his glove off on the right side from getting in that mud. Oh, this is where Chris Borich really excels. He waits to the last lap, he sets you up, and I think he could have tried to bonsai it there through the left side to get Fowler, and I didn't quite see the full effort to do it. For whatever reason, Borich has always been more comfortable chasing rather than being chased. Let's take you through this again. Here's Fowler, hits this mud. Now watch his right hand, left side of the screen very closely. I think he gets a stick wedged in, he just threw it overboard. Borich looked over. That might have just been discretion being the better part of valor. Maybe he didn't want to risk a crash as the trail came back together. But we are talking about Chris Borich, the all-time career leader in GNCC victories, and a great majority of them came in the last mile of the last lap. That's where he likes to make his passes, so you never know. Maybe he just didn't want to make the move that early. As we go back to Bryson Neal, very strong run today in third, and what a huge amount of confidence he's going to carry into round 3 in North Carolina in a couple of weeks. Adam McGill, on the other hand, can't be happy with good starts at our first 2 rounds. Whole shots at both races, and looks like he's going to be off the podium at both of them. He'll come back strong. All right, the intensity is picked up. Fowler knows Borich is there, and he knows that Borich has potentially been waiting for this moment to make a move. So he's turned up the heat to try to get away, and where is Borich? He was with him. Oh, he got hung up. I think he got over that berm and either ran out of ground clearance or hit a tree. Oh, and I think he knows it's over now. He might have had a spot picked out through this area, but he's not going to be close enough to use it. Woo! That was incredible speed. Fowler threw that left-hander, and now he knows he has it. That mistake by Borich is going to be the decider. Walker Fowler on the NFAB Am Pro Yamaha out of Ohio, looking to start the year 2 out of 2 with a little fist pump to celebrate. But he knows Chris Borich will be back to fight him again on another day. But if you're Fowler, you take the points. Even if Borich had come back and beat you at round 3, he'll still be the leader. So far, so good for the title defense. Walker Fowler wins again today here in Georgia. Chris Borich going to keep us guessing. That one mistake at the end prevented him from taking one final shot at the win. But if you're Fowler and you run that number 1 plate, well, you know you're going to be hard to pass on the last lap anyway. So good job by the kid from Rogers, Ohio, and the entire Yamaha factory crew. There's Boric back there in second, and Bryson Neal, what a run on the Coastal Racing Machine. Yeah, and his crew is pumped up, putting it up on the podium 2 weekends in a row to start the 2016 season. Your 2013 XC2 class champion has learned the ropes of XC1, and he looks to be a podium threat now week in and week out, maybe even an outside threat for a championship, coming from way back today to take third. And also a shout out to Barry Hawk, who's now running that new Coastal Racing team. Barry, a 7-time ATV champion and 1-time bike champ, has to be happy when he looks at the Rocky Mountain ATV MC results. Gets a podium out of his man McGill, holds up McClure 4th and 5th. Cole Richardson was up there but ends up 9th, so cannot be too happy about that. Let's talk to our winner.
You know, today was tough. Chris is a heck of a competitor and gave me a big challenge, but you know, I'm ready for it. I'm not going to win them all, and Chris Boric is definitely going to win some races. He's not done winning, but I'd like to think this we're headed the right way for another championship.
That's your Maxxis post-race interview. Here's your AMSOIL race recap. Good start for Fowler, but he and his teammate Cole Richardson just edged out by Adam McGill. Meanwhile, Josh Merritt and Bryson Neal tangled up in turn 1, so they had a lot of ground to make up. Neal was on the comeback trail, trying to get around the riders in front, which is not easy on most GNCC tracks. A little easier here, though, when you can find a nice outside line. That would put him into the top 5 after getting around Landon Wolf. Fowler, meanwhile, would get around his teammate Richardson and McGill to take the lead, but then there's a problem here. Get a stick wedged in his machine, and Chris Boric here on the right has an opportunity to take the lead from him. He doesn't take it, and they both kind of cruise through this section. It appeared that Boric was waiting for somewhere else on the last lap to set him up for a surprise pass. Instead, he bobbles, and that allows Fowler to put the hammer down and get away. This corner right here would ultimately cost Boric, your 6-time champ. Fowler's through, Boric is stuck. And from there, he was out of time. Fowler was free to take his 2nd victory in 2 races this year. And how about that come-from-behind performance by Bryson Neal? This kid is for real.
Yeah, it was something else on that starting line. We got a good jump off the start, and right there in the first corner, we starting to check up to dive inside and try to get that hole shot. Money other than nice, but all of a sudden my bike was ball. Then hit the gas again, ball. I look behind me, there's a four-wheeler stuck in the back end of me, and I put my head down and I charged all day long. And thankfully, on our bad day today, where we had some bad luck, we was able to come back and go on the podium.
Solid points for Neal and Boric, who have been on the podium at our first 2 rounds this year, but so far no answer for Walker Fowler. For everyone at Racer TV, thanks for watching. Congratulations, Walker.